Jewelry represents people with a physical symbol that embodies meaning, ideas, values, beliefs, and rituals. I've linked disparate objects that tell a story of my personal multicultural identity. This wearable vessel is a storytelling device that explores how I see myself, how others see me, and the biopsychosocial effects caused by environmental factors. My idea to create a wearable exploration of my identity was sparked by learning about my Philippine ancestors. In pre-colonial times, before the Spanish Catholic colonization of the Philippines, female shamans, or babaylans, specialized in the arts of healing, herbalism, divination, and sorcery. The babaylan used talismans, or agimat, to deflect curses, to heal, to empower, and to provide protection from harm. I created jewelry that makes my invisible disabilities, depression and ADHD, visible. It provides a visual vessel to string memories, attachments, events, and emotions together. Every charm, bead, or recycled medication bottle is representative of hardships and also a willingness to resolve hardships. I believe that by facing my curses through artful reflection, the power of strong negative emotions becomes more neutralized and serves as a reminder that I am resilient. To better understand a multicultural therapy perspective, I look at the holistic approach by Manavang J. Rotz, named Dimensions of Identity Model, that looks at the internal, external, and socio-political dimensions which humans function within and are a part of. These macro, meso, and micro-level systems distinguish circumstances and characteristics which shape unique individual experiences. An example of a micro-level system would be looking at my family dynamics and how it has shaped my own unique experience. I am biracial. My father is white and my mother is Filipina. I didn't find out until I was 17 that my parents had an unconventional marriage. I was told that my dad had gone through a bad breakup and wrote off American women forever. He wanted someone more submissive that wasn't going to challenge him, and he got his way. In my scenario, there is a clear power imbalance in the parental relationship, which also mirrors how dominant white culture and misogynistic social structures oppress the other through use of power, control, and conformity. Although I had a complicated rapport with my dad and struggled with his entitlement, complete lack of emotional awareness, and hurtful communication style, his recent death is no less traumatic, grief-filled, and life-altering. When I reflect on this loss, I realize that so many people have endured complex loss of loved ones, but have to carry on functioning as parents, colleagues, teachers, students, and citizens in their communities, and sometimes with many less resources. You don't have to look hard to see the many studies coming out about burnout, stress, anxiety, and depression, amplified by COVID-19 and other large stressors that are affecting people in the meso-level system. As a future art therapist training to work in professional mental health settings, I sometimes find myself overwhelmed with the layers of individual, group, and collective trauma that persist. BIPOC, LGBT, and the disabled communities are even more vulnerable to intense and prolonged stress. According to the National Institute of Health, historical racism and discrimination has already placed these communities at a disadvantage and therefore can magnify intergenerational trauma. As a non-traditional BIPOC student, I am struggling to juggle caring for my preschool daughter, my newly widowed mother, and my complicated grief around moving due to a racist neighbor who tried to assault my family 2 years ago. The 339% increase in Asian hate crimes sparked by fear-based politics and behavior is unsettling. All of these things compounded together and have affected my mental health. I've struggled with depression for 10 years, but throughout the semester, my depression and anxiety have brought me to burnout. I put on a brave face because that's what I've been taught to do, but I'm also sick of hiding my invisible disability. There is a negative stigma attached to mental illness that prevents many people from seeking help for fear of being ostracized, judged, or restricted. I often wonder, as an art therapist in training, how future clients might feel if they were to find out that I have depression and ADHD. Would it be welcome so that clients feel that it's possible to cope and still live a meaningful and independent life? Or would there be a fear of contamination or incompetence? Micro and meso stressors already feel overwhelming, but the multitude of macro-level system stressors is staggering. Over 2 years of COVID-19's global health and economic disruption has yielded widespread insecurities that ripple through institutions, communities, and individuals' personal lives. The structure of democratic society is cracking under polarizing politics, such as COVID-19 protocols, the U.S. Capitol attack, and the U.S. Supreme Court's intention to reverse a woman's right to abortion. These varying degrees of acute crisis layer upon looming climate crisis, the Russian and Ukrainian war, and economic inflation. So much widespread change so quickly will rattle even the most resilient person's nervous system. Every person has a unique cultural background due to their interpersonal relationships, communities, and their environment. Looking at the context and the nuances of these interworking systems provides better understanding of the root causes of depression, anxiety, and burnout. Individual therapy may be helpful, but if a person is subject to prolonged, intense stressors in all areas of their lives, is that really pathology, or is society in serious need for readjustments? The reverberations of my experiences have led me toward a new spiritual path. My recent Buddhist meditation practice has provided a calm in the storm, a way to accept the things I cannot change without losing hope. With a calm mind, I can see the beauty that exists in every flower or good deeds that may go unnoticed. This artful meditation of this cultural rendering helps me to better understand myself, my triggers, and reflect on how I choose to act in this world. Creating this wearable cultural container has been an enlightening process of my hardships and privileges. I am privileged to be a middle-class, light-skinned, cisgendered woman living in the United States. I have choices, and I choose to be a lifelong learner and an artist to ensure my self-reflexivity stimulates creative thinking. I choose to use intersectionality to help others understand how multiple forms of oppression reinforce each other. I choose to be an instrument of healing support. I choose to care.